We'll mention what Rav Turiel taught us. What did Rav Turiel teach us? It says that you're not supposed to check in on the sick the first 3 days, right? Now, of course, it says if suddenly the sudden type of thing, it just jumped on him, so you check in on him. Now, why not in the first 3 days? So not to make people think that go crazy, like, oh my God, the person's terribly sick. He needs help. If it really suddenly he's in terrible condition, okay, guy suffered, I don't know, what should not happen. So that's one thing. But now, it's trying to just do. I have to go do Bikur Cholim for someone. He came down with China virus, so that's not the right way to do it. Now, some have this mistaken impression that it applies to what? To also visiting the mourners. There was a fellow, the Rava Yeshuv, his mother passed away last week, early Thursday morning. The funeral was here Thursday afternoon. So the rabbi starts sitting Shiva Thursday afternoon. So how does Shiva work? Thursday, a little bit of Thursday, Miktsas Yom Kechulo, 5 intervening days. And on Wednesday, he sits Shiva for a little bit until after Shachris, and then he gets up from Shiva. Right? So, and the Kachava. So someone came to me on Monday, says, when the rabbi is having, receiving visitors and all that, I want to go to Shiva. Like, well, they actually left it open. They just said, come whenever you want. And it's true. From whenever he wakes up in the morning until apparently late at night, he's just receiving people until God knows. Right? So you could go whenever. Why don't you go until now? It's down the block. He says, yeah, but you're not supposed to go to Shiva the first 2 days or something like that. I said the first day was Thursday, the second day was Friday. You could have gone on Shabbos. Okay, and now you're asking on Monday. You've basically missed it. If you don't go sometime later today or Tuesday, you're going to miss it entirely. You let the mitzvah pass by. Oh, I didn't think about that. So there is a part of Jewish culture which says, for some reason, that only, just like it was, say, with Bikur Cholim, only the close relatives are actually checking in on the sick person at the beginning. So too, the closest people come at the beginning of the Shiva. Have you heard such a thing?
I think so.
So I heard such a thing. Is it halachic? Well, no. Why? What does the Rambam say? Here's how it works. First, at the cemetery, they make the shuros, right? Mm-hmm. So wait, you're not a Kohen, right? No, keep thinking someone's a Kohen here. Okay, so you know the thing about shuros, unfortunately. And all 7 days of the Shiva, what happens? Okay, whether they've seen before or not. So Rambam makes very clearly, he doesn't distinguish between that. Rambam says all 7 days people are supposed to come and comfort him. And by the way, you can't have necessarily the Krovim who are closest to him help him on just the first day. It is forbidden. People know about Sudas Havara. Now, what is that? That is, others feed the mourner when he comes home from the funeral, his first meal after the funeral. That's not a nice minhag. It's not that others are meant to do this chesed and it's meant to, foster camaraderie. It is that he is not allowed to eat his own food. Okay, a mourner is not allowed to come home. I was surprised. I knew people saying Shiva. No one gave them their first meal. Okay, it's not that this is a nice thing, a privilege we give to people so that they come do nichum avelim. It's that he can't come home and open a refrigerator and make himself a tuna sandwich or even an omelet. He's not allowed to do that. Okay, he has to skip the meal if his neighbors don't come and feed him. Okay, so it's dafka the people who aren't the people who usually are there to feed him. If it's people who, let's say, his own sons, okay, his wife, whoever it is, his closest, they're usually having meals with him anyways. That doesn't count. That's his food. Okay, the type of people with whom he doesn't have to make an eruv because he's normally sharing his food with them. So that's not, that doesn't work. So dafka, he has to eat other people's food, and they have to come and bring it to him. So he also says, here, what does Shulchan Aruch say? Mitzvah nichum noheget bayom uvalayla. The mitzvah is day and night. By the way, on Shabbos too, people the Hilchos Shabbos, it says Chazal had a havamina to prohibit nichum avail on Shabbos because then people might wait for Shabbos. But it turns out people don't wait for Shabbos. Dafka do it on Shabbos. So yes, we do nichum avail on Shabbos. Haraya, we still know of a minhag that at Kabbalah Shabbos, after all the singing part is done, that's when the Ava walks in. Everybody is supposed to comfort him. So not only do we do nichum avelim on Shabbos, we do it in public. Even though he's not supposed to be doing acts of avelus in public, he's not supposed to be walking around shoeless and with a ripped shirt on Shabbos. We still do nichum avelim on Shabbos. What?
I've heard people who want to make sure that nichum avelim happens prior to Shkia, so it's not on Shabbos.
Okay, well, that's not how we hold. Okay. Now that, like I said, we used to sing Lechadodi. What was it? We would daven mincha in New York, like mamish, right before Shkia. We'd finish before Shkia, and then the Kabbalah Shabbos starts after Shkia. By the time they're done with Lechadodi and those Tehillims, and they're actually saying the Nichum Avelim, it's significantly after Shkia, perhaps even Tzeis. Okay. So we do Nichum Avelim on Shabbos. We do Nichum Avelim on Shabbos morning, and people get up from Shiva on Shabbos morning. There's a misconception that people who are going to stand up from Shiva, let's say the funeral was Sunday, they start sitting Shiva on Sunday. So Shabbos is the last day. They still have to do Mikzos Shabbos. So they get up after Shachris. But they can't just like act like Shiva's over as Shabbos is coming in. Okay, that's a mistake. It's not halachic. So someone wrote this. I forgot to attribute this, but you can see here where he brings the various sources that it's not actually, it's a mitzvah. It's not actually like they say. Where's the thing over here? I'll read you what Rav Tzuriel wrote about this Allah himself. He wrote in Hebrew. Okay, we'll close this topic with Rav Tzuriel. Is it proper to comfort the mourners the first 3 days? Rabbi Shlomo Kluger wrote that he felt that, maybe he shouldn't because he's just too busy crying. He's not ready to hear anything consoling. They are lenient. No, do that. None other than the Chazon Ish didn't have the Hakpada. He would go and comfort mourners first 3 days. But we also have to say that it actually depends on the state of, the mood of the mourner. Well, Adarabba, on the contrary, because many don't come on the first days, whatever it may be. Because there's less people around, you actually have more of an opportunity to speak to the Avel. My wife and I have seen this. It's been happening more and more often. We show up at Shiva houses, and the mourners are, I guess, unaware of the halacha or whatever. We're not going to judge them. You're not allowed to talk until spoken to. It's not a minhag. It says, Eino Rashai. You can't be like, well, in this Shabbos gerecht, mourner, I want to say something to you. If he don't talk to you, like Eov didn't talk for a week, right? So they had to, his friends, the wise men, had to stay quiet, right? So too, you show up in the Shiva house, they don't talk to you, you're not addressed by the mourner, so you ain't going to be talking. You understand? That's a halacha. And if they show annoyance at you, like they just look away, like, okay, turn their head, like just give you a goodbye, you're not, you have to be very socially adept. You have to be tactful and understand this. This is why there's some people who have a little bit on the spectrum. They might not get this. If the mourner's acting like, okay, stop talking or please leave, like the Queen of England used to have her code, just switch the side their handbag is on and her bodyguards know to get her out of there, right? This event is over. Yes, that's the thing they used to have. So too, the mourner, you have to be very, very careful with him. The second he's like indicating enough, you go away. Okay, that's a halacha. So it's been happening a lot with, show up at Shiva houses, no one's talking. It's been very silent. Puzzled my wife, she's a talker, and sometimes people like to hear what she has to say, but said, you're not going to talk. They don't want to talk to you. You don't talk to them. We went Dafka on a Motzei shop. Something went wrong and they're not being recorded anymore. It's fine. We don't need that. A listener's not being recorded. Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, they don't want to talk to you. It's not your job to make them want to talk to you. So just know that. But you might have more of an opportunity here. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong place. So Rav Tzuriel wrote, "Becholbo la'avelut" in the Sefer Kolbo of Avelus. Shel Ravi Kutiel Greenwald, he wrote, Shem Yoshvim Yachad Kam Avelim, Aleim Lagid Divrei Nechama Zel Lezeh. V'chein Kasav Rash Sternbach. Okay? So if you have people, mourners with each other, so they should do this. Either way, so Rav Tzuriel put this minhag of not going the first 3 days or the first 2 days that it is under the title Minhagei Avilut Sheinam Ruyim. Okay? Customs with regards to mourning that are not proper. That's the whole not going to visit the Avil the first few days. Rav Tzuriel didn't mention here, but I've seen this. Sometimes you could have even the inverse problem. Not enough people show up the first 2 days, and it's actually kind of depressing for the Avil. Like, what's going on here? No one wants to come. That'd be the worst. Okay, there's been cases where there was a Shiva house where there wasn't enough people going, Have you ever been to one of those places like that? So you can't. So I tried to stay there as long as I could and come back, but it's just like, you do have obligations. You have to go do whatever it is you do during the day, so you can't stay with them the entire time. But it's very important not to leave the Avelim alone or make them feel like like it's a punishment. I know there's some places where they mamish believe this. The Avel was of the belief I'm not supposed to take in people the first 2 days or first 3 days, and people believe they're not supposed to do it. So you're just sitting alone, in the worst place mentally for 3 days because they believe that this was a halacha. It's not. It's halacha regarding Bikur Cholim and not Avelis. It's been mistranslated. That's what someone told me this week. Isn't that a halacha? No, it's not a halacha. It's just it's cultural Judaism, but it's not a halachic issue.